You're the dummy that don't believe in science. All your projects always be denying. You're the dummy that don't believe in science. All your projects always be denying. And I've got thrown half my roots. I've got thrown half.
Good morning. I am out for a little sneaky ride. It's just around my area really. I'm here in the Reading area in Berkshire. So I'm just out for a quick little ride in the morning. I know I'm not supposed to be riding, but it's totally backcountry. There's no one here. It's just to get out and give the bike a little bit of a run, just to see if everything is still good. I just want to give a quick update on the Sur Ron Light Bee X, I think it's called. I bought this bike from Stag Motorcycles. They close to Newbury. Really good guys. Really good service. And if you guys are ever looking to test drive one of these bikes or want to find out more information about it, speak to Steve, the guy at Stag Motorcycles. He will help you out with questions. He does all the servicing, he does all the parts and whatever. So there's so many extra bits of kit that you can buy for the bike. So it's customizable and upgradable. And there's a Facebook group that is really helpful. Everyone help each other for news and photos and get people excited about these little bikes. Just to let you know as well, there's the two versions. That's the road version, where you need to, here in the UK at least, you have to have a license. It's classed as a moped, and you need to have insurance. So it's fairly pricey for a small little bike. But then if you take away all the maintenance and stuff that you don't need to do compared to a little two-stroke or whatever, where you're servicing and all that lovely stuff, and brakes and all the parts that can go wrong, this thing is pretty much all mountain bike parts. So it's really cheap. Like the brake pads is like £5. You can upgrade it and buy better mountain bike parts, but if you want to, the mid-range ones are about £5 a set. So it's really cheap to actually run. So if you take a little bit more of insurance and you offset that to all the other servicing costs that you don't really need, because you can do everything yourself. It's like cleaning your mountain bike really. So it's really nice. It's really nice. So yeah, this is the two options. So this is the road version that needs to have a little plate at the back and all that lovely business, and then you get the off-road version that you only allowed to ride off-road or on private land, where you get permission to actually ride it. A lot of guys do use it to blast around the back country roads without having it insured. I think it's the risk you're taking. It's or you get caught or you don't get caught. It's sort of that thing. But everyone, use your own judgment. If you want to take that chance, take it. If you don't want to take the chance, then buy the road legal one. I use this one to go to work and back, and I bought it beginning of winter with about 200 miles on the clock, and because I really like the red color. It's almost like a matte red, and it's really nice. I'm sort of a red, black and grey fanboy, and so bought the red as a demo model, and then I've actually rode it straight through winter into work and back. It's an 18-mile round trip, 18 miles, and so I just want to quickly give you guys an update. It's about 960 miles on the clock now. It's coming up to 1,000, but I thought I'll give you an update because I don't want to really go too far and whatever and get into trouble for being on the roads. Would not have to be on the roads. So yeah, it's about 960 miles, and I just want to give you guys a quick update of what I've experienced so far during my basically winter usage of this bike. So it's got the knobby tires on, so it's not great for winter riding. But again, I think I mentioned this in my previous video as well. It's all about how fast you go. If you can't lean around the corners and open it up and expect the tires to grip in the winter when the roads are cold, and those tires are not really made for cornering at high speeds. It's just logical. So you need to be careful. But on the other flip side, me driving to work and slipping through the traffic and stuff on those tires, it's been fine. I think the ride would be more comfortable with a little bit more of like a flat track type of tire, or a dual purpose tire, and I might change that when they are finished. But currently they're fine. It's spring, and I'm going to use them how they are. If I go around the corner and I think I'm too fast, I just put my foot out. Like a little bit of motocross style. So if it does slip, at least I've got my foot to lift me up a little bit more to gain a bit more traction. But yeah, winter riding has been fine. A few points that I want to mention about that you need to look out for when you buy this bike, excuse me, is the first thing is this bike can be used in rain, no problem. Rain, mud, water, it's all fairly okayish. The only thing that this bike does not like is if it stands in the rain. So what I found is when I parked it at the office, and it basically stands for like 7 hours or 8 hours that I've been at the office, and it rains the whole day, and it's like so all the water basically get a lot of time to seep into everything. And the first thing I found is the little screen, the small little LCD screen that's on the battery. That thing gets water in, and sometimes can cause a little bit of problems with a bike. Like error codes on the dash, the light starts flashing, and it just is a bit of erratic. But you close up, and you open again, and then it sort of goes. It stutters again. It's almost like there's moisture in the contacts. But then again, what I've done is there's two options. You can all buy like a bike cover. It's probably also better for security reasons if you leave the bike where you can't see it. A lock is one thing, but if the guys see small little light bike that they can just cut the chain off and take it away, where if you've got a cover over, then it might look like a moped, and they don't know. If they can't see it, if they can't see the eye candy, then it might make them go to the next bike. So you can all buy a bike cover, and that will keep the rain off, and then you should be fine. You can, I've ridden in the rain and ridden out of rain, and the bike stood the whole day. But yeah, that's sort of the first thing. So the little LCD screen on the bike can get water in. You can seal it with a little bit of silicone, but there's just so many other little bits of open parts. If you close the little cover, there's little open parts where the rain can come in, and moisture and electricity, and if it's not properly sealed with a proper O-ring, then it gets in there. And it's just the nature of the game. So that's the one thing. The second thing was on the left side, where the indicators are, when you left, right, indicator cluster. That thing as well, it's prone. The water that rains and it falls straight in there, and yes, it's fairly well sealed, but it's not as well sealed as, for instance, a BMW or say a Zero motorcycle or any of the bikes that are built for being outside and just be left outside. So what I found is the water would seep in there, and the contacts will get moist, or maybe rust, or just dirty connections or whatever would get in there. And then what would happen is, if you turn, say, left, the bike will sort of stutter. You switch off the indicator, and then it goes again. So it's definitely something to do with water getting into that into the turn signal cluster. So, and that happened to left and right. And again, after a few days, it's, I say, over a weekend when I didn't ride the bike, because the weather was really bad, that cluster will dry out, and on Monday morning the right side would be will work perfect, but the left one will still have the jerkiness. The bike has now been, it's now spring and it's dry, and I haven't really ridden it in rain, and the problem is gone. So it's definitely something to do with moisture getting into that cluster. So those are the two things that is for me a bit of a pain, really, because I want to be able to use the bike as per norm. But I think as the bikes get more traction and more people want it and more people want to use it, then it's going to become better developed. They might just change that loom or that cluster to be a more sealed one. So let me just show you quickly. I just want to quickly show you what I mean by where the rain can get in. Just turn the bike off, and you open this little cover, you pull back, and clip this open. So if you have a look at the battery, this is removable as well, so you can take it out and charge it outside if you want to. But there's the little LCD. So it is sealed, but it looks like the water can just come in the side of it. It's a bit of a pain. And then as well, you can see the contacts here. It is sealed, but moisture can get in the bottom, and the seals are good, but it's moisture. And then here on the cluster as well, as you can see now, it's fairly turned up, so the rain just falls in there, and then it causes this thing to not be happy. I haven't had problems with that switch, but it's just the turn signal switch. But yeah, just so you know, that's where that is. I've got this little rear flap that I'm going to take off for the summer because I don't really like it. There's other options. The guys also put the rear lights there. That's also a nice option, but I'm just worried that if this swing arm comes up, it might hit the number plate and then that breaks off. Don't want that. I like this little mud guard. This was an aftermarket part. You can also check with Steve at Stag Motorcycles. He'll be able to help you with one of them. It's quite nice. So yeah, I might take that off or install something else, a thinner thing, just to protect this rear shock. But yeah, those are the guys. Check them out. Really, really nice. And also the chain. Just a quick note. This chain can be adjusted on there. So you move slightly back, and you check the tension. This thing is not tied to the swing arm. So if the swing arm moves up and down, the tightness of the chain does not change compared to a normal bike, like a mountain bike. What does happen, it's belt driven. I think if you can see in there, so the belt drives the motor on the one side, and then that drives the chain, little cog on this side underneath there. Okay, so you can change the tension of the chain without having to worry about the movement of the rear swing arm. Okay, but yeah, the bike has been holding up really well. The front, this is where all the grime and grit gets stuck on the controller. This is the X controller. Yes, for the whole of winter. There's a bit of rust on there, but again, a little bit of WD-40 just to rub over it and to keep the salt and stuff off, the dirt off there. But it's been really, really, really impressive. So that was a quick overview of where the rain can get in and all that type of things. So those are the two things that I would like them to actually or seal more or use a different part so it's a little bit more covered. And what I did as well is so this is a bike cover. What I've done is on that little flip, the little catch you flip up, I put just a normal Tesco plastic bag in there, so it covers the electronics, and I close that little latch. So the rain can fall on there, but all the electronics are kept dry. And that sort of worked. I didn't really need a bike cover, because my bike is standing where there's security cameras and is right outside the office, and it's locked to an anchor mount with a massive chain. I think the chain is almost heavier than what the bike is, but yeah, just sort of just a reminder about the chains as well. And this is what I found out now with one of my friends that had an electric mountain bike, and what I found with this bike. Now this bike is insured with Lexam insurance. Looks like the only guys that really insure electric bikes without any problems. I've got my Zero insured through Carol Nash, but I had to fight with them, and I had to because I moved from a F850 GS to a Zero DSR, and Carol Nash, the first lot of guys said, "Oh no, we don't insure electric motorbikes." I'm like, you guys are the biggest insurance company out there. You at all the Motorcycle Live and whatever. How can you not be up to date with what motorbikes are around? It's pathetic, really. But after speaking to the manager, he passed me to another department, and that department has to go through all the questions and stuff again for me to eventually get insurance through Carol Nash. It's oh man, I just wanted to spend like maximum half an hour. It was almost 2 hours on the phone with the guys at Carol Nash trying to get a Zero DSR that's been out for many years to be insured with him. It's probably not going to use them again. I'm probably going to put my Zero on Lexam as well, because they do give you discount if you've got two bikes on the same policy. So I'll probably move to Lexam. The guys know. I basically said to them, I want to insure a Sur Ron Light Bee. Yes sir, no problem sir. Boom boom, all happy. I think I pay about £250 a year for insurance, so it's not too bad. It's still a lot of money, but it's not too bad. The problem why I think the insurance is so high on these little bikes is because it's light. I think this thing is under 50 kilos or 50 kilograms, where it's very easy to just cut the chain and carry the bike off. Even if it's got the steering lock on, it's very easy to pick up and actually carry. Two people or one person, if he really wants to steal it, he can steal it. So yeah, getting back to the point about the security, when you buy a lock, because Lexam tells you in the policy that you need to have a certified lock on this bike, because if it gets stolen or nicked without a lock on, or not an approved lock, they're not going to pay out. So just be aware of that. And it also needs to be a sold secure lock. So the lock needs to be approved from the list of locks on their website. It needs to be always locked with a lock when it's left alone, even in your garage. It's quite bizarre, even in your garage. And it needs to preferably be locked to a ground anchor. I don't think that will avoid the insurance, but I think they might try and get out of it. So at the office, I've got a ground anchor and I've got this sold secure lock, and I think mine is gold. And there's also different levels of the sold secure locks. There's, I think, the gold, silver and bronze, and each of them you can then apply one bike to it to insure against that if someone tries to steal your bike with that lock on. Say someone steals the bike with the lock on, and you've registered the lock with the bike that you tied it to or anchored it to, then the sold secure guys, the guys from the lock company, will also pay out. Okay, so there's different levels. So So there's gold, silver, and bronze. The gold, you get a, I can't remember, but go and have a look at the website. There's different levels of cover that the lock supplies. And don't get me wrong, you know, if someone wants to steal the bike with any type of lock on, you know, they just need time, and then they can grind the thing off or whatever. So don't think you buying a lock is gonna keep your bike super safe. It's not. You know, if someone wants to steal it, they'll steal it. You know, coming from South Africa, you know, the guys were stealing cars with gear locks on, a metal frame that's bolted to the thing in a parking lot. So you know, it's like you know, if someone wants to take something, they'll take it. They'll find a way to take it. But yeah, just be aware there's different levels of the lock, and that lock need to be sort of registered with the Sold Secure guys to a specific number plate. It can only be one bike at a time. So if I lock it on this bike, and that's fine, but if I lock it with the DSR and it gets stolen on the DSR, they don't pay out. Okay, so have a look at the locks, and then a ground anchor. So that's sort of the other thing that I want to mention is the locks and the security of it. Other things that I found in the winter, not really much, to be honest. You know, it's been, you know, if you take those two problems away, the moisture getting into the controller unit or the moisture getting into the battery unit, you know, it's pretty much maintenance free. The brakes are easy to check with a little torchlight. You can take it out, it's like two little clips. It's like mountain bike stuff if you want to do that. The chain can be adjusted if you want to. I would suggest getting a little a paddock stand. You know, you can put the bottom of the bike on a stand so you can work it. You can work at the rear, and the bike is stable because it's so light. It sort of falls over and that type of thing. To adjust the chain, and make sure that you adjust it on both sides at the same time so it lines up. You don't want to skew a wheel or whatever, something like that. Also will affect your brakes if you don't align the wheel straight. But yeah, no real problems. You know, the tires keep their pressure quite well. I think I run at 31 psi. Yeah, and that's been fine. Let me just quickly have a look. Yeah, 31 psi. I run front and rear because I ride on the road most of the time. I know if you run it a little bit softer, you get more comfort, but I like to be, you know, a little bit more inflated, might get a bit more range. I want to do a bit of a range test as well, because I did a range test in the middle of the winter. So I want to do a range test in the summer and see if I can get more than, say, 27 miles, I think it was the last time. So look out for that video. Hopefully it's going to come. Hopefully this virus thing will blow over and we can get back on our bikes. I must say it is quite nice to be able to ride your electric bike in the countryside with no cars on the road. And just sort of another thing about unnecessary trips. You know, I bought something from Amazon and I needed to return it yesterday. I went through the whole process. You know, Amazon said, yes guys, perfect, can you return it to the closest Hermes? The website is very efficient, you know. So I go to the first Hermes shop, and the guy basically said to me behind the counter, no, we don't do any delivery, we don't take any packages in. Okay, so there's now, for me to get to the first Hermes shop, that was about door to door was about 25 minutes. So then I jumped on the web, found another Hermes place. I actually phoned the second place and I said to them, listen guys, do you take packages? Yes, everything is good. So I drove to the second Hermes package drop-off place, and oh no sir, firstly the printer doesn't want to work. So the lady tried to spend there like 10 minutes trying to get the printer working. Then she looked behind the counter and there was no printer connected. So total waste of time. So end to end round trip, 1 hour, totally wasted, where I could have spent my time cleaning my motorbike or doing something at home a bit more useful. So, this whole virus thing has really made me think about stuff a little bit different. How I go about the stuff I do on weekends and what is important to me. Being out in the countryside is for me much more important than driving to deliver packages because I need to return something because it went faulty or whatever. And I would rather take the longer option and walk around to the local post office and drop it in there now on Monday because it's way less hassle. But I just wanted to get it done. So and also I'm sort of thinking about changing the whole thing of going to the shops more. We've been using Amazon now and online shopping extensively now, much more than previously, and I think we would prefer to do it that way going forward because it's just less time and less effort to actually just do that. Get someone to deliver it and make sure that you package your stuff together when you order stuff, and they can deliver it on a day where they are in the area maybe or whatever. But that's sort of the thing. I would probably do that. But getting back to the bike, it's been great. If you guys have any questions about it, drop some comments below. I will probably see if I can get a bit of footage on the bike. I don't have a mount, but I'll try that. And yes, go and check it out. Stag Motorcycles. Have a chat to Steve. If you've got any questions with me for me, drop it down in the comments below. If you want me to test something or have a little closer photo or a little video about it, let me know and I'll do it for you. Have a lovely day, stay safe, and try and stay at home. See you next time, guys. Cheers, bye.
You're the dummy that don't believe in science. All your projects always be denying. You're the one I love, you're the one I wanna give to.